Hello everyone and welcome back to our English lessons for level 3. This is unit 4, take it easy. In this unit we're gonna study present simple 2 with I, you, we and they. We will talk about leisure activities or free time activities and we will study social expressions. So let's get started with exercise number 1, and here we talk about weekdays and weekends. If I ask you what are the days of the weekend in your country, Saudi Arabia, yes, of course, we have Friday and Saturday. Weekdays from Sunday to Thursday. So read about Bobby Brown's weekends and complete the text with these verbs. Gets up, lives, is, loves, works, doesn't work, interviews, or make an interview, meet people, interviews, and starts. So let's start reading together Bobby Brown in New Jersey. So what do you think? Yes, good. Bobby Brown lives in New Jersey. So try to complete the text with these verbs and pause the video for just 2 minutes, then play the video again and check your answers. Okay, I am going to pause the recording now. So let's read together. Bobby Brown lives in New Jersey. She is 34 and works for Sky TV in New York City. But she doesn't work on weekdays. She only works at weekends. She interviews famous people. It means she meets famous people in her program for an early morning news program called The World This Weekend. On Saturdays and Sundays, she gets up at 3 in the morning because she starts work at 6:30. She loves her job because it is exciting. So as you can see here, we use verbs plus S, or we add S to the verb because we talk about one person, singular, she. And for negative, we use doesn't plus infinitive, or the verb here without S after doesn't, so doesn't work. Now, for this exercise, you are going to read about what Bobby says about her weekdays. And all the sentences here start with I, so we don't add S to the verb. Try to complete the text with these verbs: love, relax, have, like, go, live, start, come, visit. You will use it 2 times. Go shopping, pick up, go out, get up, take, buy, make, cook. As you can see, all these verbs don't end with S because we start with I. We don't start with he or she. So my weekends are fast and exciting. My weekdays are fast and domestic. Domestic, it means I stay at home or I work at home with my family. Domestic. I 2 sons, Dylan 7 and Dakota 5. So I, great, I have, okay. Now, again, pause the video. Now for 3 minutes, write all the verbs here to complete the text. Then you can play the video again and check your answers. So now you can check your answers. Let's read together. My weekends are fast and exciting. My weekdays are fast and domestic. I have 2 sons, Dylan 7 and Dakota 5. Every morning I get up 1 hour before them at 6. So they get up at 7, but I get up 1 hour before them at 6, and I go to the gym. I come home and I make breakfast. Then I take them to school. On Mondays, I always go shopping. I buy all the food for the week. I often cook dinner in the evenings. but not every day, because I don't like cooking. Fortunately, this word, fortunately, it means luckily. Fortunately, luckily, يعني لحسن الحظ. Fortunately, my husband, Don, loves cooking. Look, here we say loves. We add s to the verb because we talk about singular noun, my husband. He loves cooking. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I visit my father. He lives on the next block, the next building. Every afternoon, I pick up the kids from school. I pick up the kids, it means I go to my kids' school and bring them back home. Pick up, it means go and bring someone back. Pick up the kids from school. In the evenings, Don and I usually relax. But sometimes we visit friends. We never go out on Friday evenings because I start work so early on Saturdays. Okay? Now, how to make questions. Where do you work? If someone asks you, where do you work? You say, I work in New York. Do you like your work? Yes, I do. Do you relax at weekends? No, I don't. Why don't you relax at weekends? Because I work. So as you can see here, we use do for questions, not does. Now try to complete these sentences using do or you. Then we will practice them together. So number one, you ask, where do you live? Where do you work? Okay, so here we use do. Number two, are you married? Are you married? So here we say for question number one, do, but here we use are. So are you married? Do you have children? So what's the difference between are you and do you? As you can see here, do you have children? Do you plus verb have. Do you live? Do you work? These are verbs. Live, work, have, verbs. So if we have a verb, we use do. Of course, we use does with he or she, but we use do, you. Are you married? Married is not a verb. This is an adjective. So are you married? Are you tired? Are you late today? So we use are. Are you from Saudi Arabia? We don't say do you from Saudi Arabia. So we just use do you plus a verb. And here, what time do you get up? On Saturday morning, on Monday morning. So here we use do you. Then on Saturday morning, on Monday morning, and so on. So try to complete these sentences. It's questions. It's easy to use do you. Now complete the table for the present simple. How to make positive sentences or affirmative sentences, يعني جمل مثبتة, positive, and how to make negative, نفي. I work. I don't work. What about you? Yes, we say you work, the same. And for negative, we say don't work. You don't work. What about he or she or it? He, she, it? Yes, great. So we say he works. We add s. And for negative, doesn't work. Doesn't work. No s. So he works, she works, it works, he doesn't work, she doesn't work, it doesn't work. We and they like I and you. So we say I work, And for negative, we say don't work. The same with they. What about the noun? If we start with singular noun like my father, my brother, Ahmed, Muhammad, we will use S. So my father works in a bank or doesn't work. But if we say my friends or my parents, father and mother, plural noun, work, live, eat, play. So singular noun like my father, my mother, my brother, he, it's like he, she, or it. We use S. But plural noun, my parents, my friends, Ahmed and Omar, we use the verb no S. Now, how to make questions with you or she? As I told you, I, you, we, they, plural noun, the same. So here we use do. So you say, where do you work? But she, he, it, singular noun, we use does. Where does she work? You can start the question with do or does, and here the answer is yes or no. So we can say, do you work in New York? Do you work in New York? Yes, I do. Does he work in New York? Does she? Does your father? Does your brother? Does he work in New York? No, he doesn't. And if you look back at the text here, we have words like this. Always, usually, often, sometimes, never. So if you always do something, it means 100%. You do it every day. You do it every day. Usually maybe 80%, 5 days a week or 6 days a week. Often maybe 70%. This means 5 days a week. So always, every day, دائما. Usually 80%, 6 days a week. عادة. Often maybe 5 days a week, 70%. Sometimes, often غالبا, sometimes 50%. This means around 4 days a week, 3 or 4 أحيانا, but never, it means 0%. You don't do the action أبدا. We use these words before the verb. So you can say, I always get up early. We don't say I get up always. No, I always get up early. You can say she sometimes drinks coffee in the morning. Okay, she sometimes drinks coffee. We don't say she drinks sometimes. Okay, so we use these adverbs or these words before the verb. Let's move on to practice making questions. So number 1 here, what time do you go to bed? What time do you go to bed? The answer, at 11 o'clock. What about number 2, where? What can I say? Where do you like your job? Or what? Yes, where do you go on holiday? So we will write here 2. Where do you go to holiday? And the answer is yes, to Spain or Portugal. This is B. So where do you go on holiday? To Spain or Portugal? Now pause the video, write your answers, then play the video again and check your answers. So check your answers. Look at number 3. What do you do on Sundays? What do you do on Sundays? The answer, I always relax. So here we ask about a thing. Number 4, when do you do your homework? When do you do your homework? The answer, after dinner. Here we ask about time. Who do you live with? Who do you live with? Who do you live with? My mother and sisters. So we ask about people or persons. Why do you like your job? Why do you like your job? Because it's interesting. So why? Ask about the reason. The answer starts with because. Interesting or exciting. ممتع. How? How do you travel to school? How do you go to school? By bus, by car. Number 8, do you go out on Friday evenings? Do, so the answer is yes or no. Yes, I do sometimes. You can say no, I don't. Okay, so these are question words. Now, take the sentence you hear. Take the sentence you hear, but at first read. What does he do on Sundays? What does she do? What does he? What does she? What does he? What does she? Okay?
Tape script 4.4. 1,
What does she do on Fridays?
2,
Do you stay home on Thursday evenings?
3,
He lives here.
4,
What do you do on Thursday evenings?
5,
I read a lot.
6.
Why don't you like your job?
Okay, so you can listen again and write or take the sentence you hear, then pause the video, write your answers, play the video again, and check your answers. Yeah, we have some here. Saturday, it's Friday, Sundays, it's Monday, so it's not a big mistake, but we concentrate on the difference between he or she. So number 1, what does she do? So you can listen again, take the sentence you hear, then pause the video, play the video again, and check your answers.